Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Just Seen Podcast. Today, right, this conversation is going to be very, very good. I ain't going to say good. It's going to be good for me, right? I'm going to say it's good for me simply because it brought a different perspective of life to me, just thinking about this and pretty much dwelling on everything that it's connected to. And that's getting old. That's motherfucking getting old. Like, it's I look at the way society plays it safe. It's safe. I look at the way society plays itself out and how many people are afraid to get old. Like so many people are afraid to grow old. And it gets scary. It gets scary for them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's, scary for me. Like, and this is one of the reasons why I decided to have this episode because the situation at hand was I was talking to somebody about Sofra 3. I know, shameless plug. I don't give a damn. This is my podcast. It's coming, but I'm just giving y'all the time to get ready for it. You feel me? So when it come, you feel me come. But I'm talking about Sofra 3 with somebody, and they just interject randomly. Whatever it was, it caught them completely off guard. And they just interjected like, do you know you have gray hair in your beard? I'm like, duh, the fuck? I got a mirror. I comb my beard every single day. You don't think I know I got gray hairs? And the next thing is what led to the prompt of what we're going to be talking about. They were like, you need to dye it. It looks like you getting old. And I was like, I ain't dyeing this shit. They was like, you don't want it to stay out. No, I don't want it to stay out black. If it gets gray, it gets gray. I'm like, every gray hair that I have in my chin, because I damn sure ain't got no more hair on my head, but every gray hair that I have on my chin, and even the hairs, like when they do grow back before I, shave it up and everything, I got a whole bunch of gray hairs in my actual head. I've had gray hair since I was like 22, but no, I remember it was like 20. I was like 20 when I started getting my grays because my barber was cutting my shit. And he was like, bruh, you stressing? I was like, what you mean? He said, you got a whole side taper of gray hair, bro. He was exaggerating, but it was a decent amount. He said, man, you need to relax, man. Don't let school get to you that bad. Because I was in college. But we were just joking and shit. But I got a decent amount of gray hairs. You feel what I'm saying? And so as I'm talking to that person, their focus was, you're getting old, as if it's a bad thing. And I'm looking at it like, and I was looking at it from the perspective of, like, why is that a problem? For one, why do you care? It's not your shit, but this same person dyes their hair. Like, you know what I mean? They're older. They were much older. So it's like they would dye their hair. And it's like, I don't want my grays to show. For what? You old. Like, I'm not old. I'm not. Yes, you are. You're old. Like, it's okay. Like, but what is the problem with why people don't want to grow old? We as kids, we grow up, I can't wait till I get a certain age. We live life as children wanting to grow up so fast. And then once we become adults, we want to stop growing. We want to age backwards or stay the same and become stagnant. And as I look at how people just get scared to grow old, it's like, for what? It's a part of life. I've learned that people that are afraid to grow old are also afraid of death. And when you're afraid of death, you're afraid of losing. And if you're afraid of losing, you're afraid to learn. And if you're afraid to learn, you can't grow. I know I just made all of that connect somehow. But as we dive deeper into the podcast episode, it'll all make sense. But before we dive heavy into it, be sure to follow me on Instagram at the Just Seen Podcast. Be sure to check out my website at IamJustSeen.com. My bad. I was trying to think if I said the right Instagram name. Run it back. Look, be sure to follow me on Instagram at the Just Seen Podcast. Be sure to check out my website at IamJustSeen.com to get all things that are just seen. To all those who tip, sponsor, and donate to the podcast, you are greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. To all those who would like to tip, donate, sponsor to the podcast, you can do so by clicking the description of your podcast, not the episode itself, but the podcast. Cash App and PayPal are just fine. And as always, that's that for this and that's this for that. So when we take this break and we come back, we're going to dive into, I ain't worked out a title yet, but it'll be something along the lines of getting older. Let me see. Yeah, it's going to be something about getting older. We'll have the title when we get back. Oh yeah, and don't forget to visit IamJustSing.com. There, you can get all things Just Sing. You want to add the Soulfrell series to your library? Visit IamJustSing.com. You want to learn how to master the market for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustSing.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSing.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustSing.com. You ever want to just chat with Sing about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSing.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSing.com. So just take a quick peek into my world and see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it. You will never see it unless you visit IamJustSing.com. Welcome back. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. So yeah, growing old it seems to be a problem. It seems to be a fear of motherfuckers. You feel me? And I like to look at fear as the lack of understanding. I don't, you know what I'm saying? A lot of motherfuckers just scared to get old, but it's more so the fear of understanding the other side, because after getting old comes death. You feel what I'm saying? But that's not necessarily the case. I feel like it's new life, but because they say the good die young, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like a lot of people, we have reached this level of aesthetic appeal, for one, where people are afraid to physically look old because, they're not going to find themselves desirable or anything like that, or whatever the case may be. But I think it's more so a lot deeper than that. It's a lot deeper than that. And as I'm learning just from the people that I've interacted with, I've always been like, yo, you getting old. Like, I'm 31, right? And I've never felt old a day in my life. You know what I mean? And no matter how much older I got, I never felt old. And, they always say, you're as young as you feel, and I don't really think that anymore. You're as young as you feel. I think you're as young as you're able to understand. You're as young as you're able to comprehend and understand. And so I was telling, the person, that was mentioning the grays in my beard or whatnot, they were like, you're getting old. And I said, I'm not getting old, I'm aging. Like, that's what developed the conversation. I said, I'm aging. They was like, well, you can call it what you want, but you're getting old. No, I am aging. I'm not getting old. And it's, cliche, but, age like fine wine. The longer wine sits, the better it gets, right? That's aging. But when something gets old, it doesn't change. The quality doesn't improve. It remains the same for as long as it sits there. You feel what I'm saying? You got a weight bench or some workout equipment, and it's just in your room collecting dust. That's getting old. That weight bench doesn't go through any process that changes it to make you come back and say, hey, I'm new and improved. Come deal with me. That's getting old. Incidentally, that turns gray. The dust that accumulates on the shit makes it turn quote unquote gray. You feel what I'm saying? But when something ages, it doesn't lose its luster. It doesn't lose its refinement. It develops and becomes better, and it matures with the times that it's going through, right? So when we had that conversation, the person was telling me, yo, you got grays here. It's like, yo, you need to get old. You getting old. You stressed. And I said, no, I'm aging. As humans are supposed to do, like, I'm aging. But when I look at my life and I look at the 31 years that I put into this motherfucker, like, they're full. I don't have a single what if in my life. And as I'm looking at the difference between people who age and people who get old, that is a common factor. What ifs and OLs. You feel me? And it's wild because I kind of put that down. Like, I recorded this song like in 2012. 13, one of them. I did a little album and whatnot. And the song was called What Ifs and Oh Wells. And in that moment, I decided for myself when I wrote that song, that was an affirmation for me or whatever. Because, I don't necessarily listen to music, I use it. So I wrote that as a mantra and affirmation for me that I'm going to switch my life from worrying about what ifs and switching to oh wells. You feel me? If the shit don't work out, oh well. I'm going to go through with it. I'm going to do what the fuck I need to do for my life. And these are the things that I'm starting to acknowledge and see amongst different people. You feel me? The people who dwell on what ifs. People who dwell on what ifs get old. People who live and have OLs, they age. And it's like, yo, how you at peace with this, that, and the third? Because I tried it. There's no leaf left unturned for me. It's not going to plague my mind of, I could have did this when I was this age. I could have did this when I've done it. Like, I've literally done it. Like, you know how Master P, they said Master P lived every hood nigga dream. No lie. He played in the NBA. He was a rapper. And he was a drug dealer. Like, it was, it was something else. It was something else that it was like he lived out every young hood nigga's dream. In all dynamics, he did it. You feel what I'm saying? And so when you look at it, it's like there's no leaf left unturned for him. Just on that basic level. I don't know if there's any goals or anything else he wants to accomplish, but things like that gave me drive. And they gave me perspective. And I'm going to keep tying it back to this one conversation I had. Now, granted, this conversation was no more than 5 minutes long. But the depths of it opened my mind up to something different between how people perceive themselves, how they perceive you through themselves, and how you are perceiving them through yourself and vice versa. So it's like, while this person is calling me old, I'm like, you're old. I'm not. Like, I'm aging. Like, and the aging process is a process, like I said, of refinement. I get better every year. I get better every day. You feel me? And it's like, I guess because of the physical with the grays and shit, you feel me? Motherfuckers are looking at it like, oh, like my mental is sharper than it's ever been. My spirit is sharper than it's ever been. And you worried about some gray hair? You feel me? But taking it back to what ifs and OLs, that's a connection that I made a lot with a lot of people who are old. You feel me? They project a lot of the things that they do based off of what ifs that they have. I always say this to people, when you're dealing with motherfuckers, right? Because, motherfuckers going to be motherfuckers. But when you're dealing with motherfuckers, you got to realize what level of the mind that you're speaking to them from. Make sure y'all are on the same level of understanding when you're speaking about something. Because that's how you have a whole motherfucking argument. You feel me? You have a whole motherfucking argument about some shit that y'all understand differently. You feel me? And it's all perspective at that point. And y'all understanding something differently and y'all are arguing about it. Rather than saying, okay, my perspective is different, your perspective is different. Leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? But you don't even have to engage in that when you understand that. But the purpose that I'm going with this one is that you can have an oh well mindset and be talking to a person who lives on what ifs. What does that do for you guys? Because while they're telling you what can't be done, they're telling you from a perspective of what if I would have done it. While you're telling them something that can be done, you're telling them from a perspective of I did it. Oh well. Now that comes into another dynamic too, because the oh wells that I have developed from me being fully satisfied with the outcome before it becoming a oh well. You feel what I'm saying? Einstein once said the shit about motherfucker. He said, it's not that I'm smarter than people. I just stick with problems longer. Powerful shit. Powerful shit. And that ties into some shit that I studied about geniuses. It's like a genius isn't what somebody is. It is what you have. You tap into it. Your ability to solve problems, your creative ability to solve a problem is your genius. How long you're able to stick to that problem determines the level of genius you have. It's real simple. You feel me? So when I look at people who have said things about, I tried that and it didn't work. And I've tried the same thing they've done and I made it work continuously and pushed through. I'm like, why did you give up? That's my only thought process. because I'm processing this shit from a oh well. They're processing it from a what if. And so as I'm asking them, what made you give up? Like, what really made you quit? What do you mean? What made me quit? It didn't work. It works. I do it. You feel me? I've done it. I've gone the levels with it. What was it about you that you couldn't overcome it? You feel what I'm saying? That plagues a lot of people's minds. That's the power of a what if. And people justify their what ifs off of so many different things. Well, if it's for me, it's for me. I wouldn't have to work for it because in order to make a what if a oh well, you need accountability and responsibility. You feel me? You got to be accountable and responsible for your shit, for the shit that you're about to dive into, to be able to say, I'm going to turn this into an oh well. You feel me? When I first started my entrepreneurship journey, I was in an MLM. You feel me? I didn't make that much money. You know, the people that was telling me I was in one of those when I was your age, and it's like, okay, cool. Why didn't you go to the next level of business? You went back to being an employee. You went back. You feel what I'm saying? I went forward. You feel me? And it led to the other shit that I've done. So when people say I was in one of those, and one of the people that I was talking to about it one time, when I first got into it, they were like, you ain't gonna make no money, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, it's a scam, it's this and the third. So I was like, okay, cool. That person still laughs about the fact that I was in that at one point in time and got out because they were in it at one point in time. It didn't work out for them either. And I said, but where are you right now? Because that was a stepping stone for you, for me. That was a stepping stone for me, but that was a stumbling block for you. And you never got off the floor. I know, shots fired, bang, bang, whatever. Don't come for me unless I send for you, whatever the fuck they be saying. You feel me? But don't say certain shit without knowing the quick wit that can come back to it. Because while you're laughing at the fact that we went through the same circumstance and you're stuck in that pocket of it, and you're saying, see, it happened to me too. But I propelled and went far. I learned from that experience, leveled it, and catapulted into something totally different that you couldn't catapult to. So when I say I don't get old, I age, this is what I mean. I'm putting that on a grander scale because these people who will say that, oh, I tried this when I was your age, or I did this, and why couldn't you get through the wall that I got through? That's what blows my mind. It used to blow my mind until I started to understand that people are people. Everybody's not the same. Everybody's an individual. You feel what I mean? Everybody's an individual. Nobody is the same person, so nobody can have the same experience. Nobody has the same will. Nobody has the same ambition. Nobody has the same drive, purpose, or why for why they do something. You feel what I'm saying? My reasoning, the why behind why I do shit is not for money. That's why I can push through. When somebody's mindset is just for the bread, like I just want the bread. When I don't get the bread, I'm out. Oh no, I'm gonna figure this shit out. You dig what I mean? I'm gonna keep going till we're gonna figure this shit out. That's what the difference is in the drive. So when I made that comparison and I made that analogy and that connection to that person, I was like, damn, why couldn't you get through the wall? Cause man, it wasn't right. It wasn't right. And it's like, okay, but there was other avenues. Like, what were you in it for? Now you just got a what if, because now you see somebody that's doing something, and another side to that is that when I was in the MLM, when I left, a lot of the people that I was with, they were like, you're going to regret it. You're going to want to come back. And if you do, you're going to have to start from the bottom. I said, it's not about what you walk away from. It's what you walk away with. I always remember that. It's not about what you walk away from. It's what you walk away with. And in walking away from that, I already knew I was going to the next level because in that MLM shit, I think I told the story before, but in that MLM shit, I was doing what's called a 2-on-1 that turned into a 3-on-2 because the person that we were supposed to, be jumping, whatever, not like a real fight, but me and the other business partner, we were supposed to do a 1-on-1 with another person to introduce them and recruit them to the shit. They happened to bring 2 other friends. So now it's turned into me with all 3 of them because she didn't have the experience to deal with. I didn't either. I'm younger than you in this motherfucker, but I handled it well. But as I'm talking to one of the dudes, he said he planted a seed, didn't even know it. Because I'm thinking, I'm still breaking down the shit, but I'm peeping him. And he's like, yo, bro. He said, but it ain't mine. I said, yo, this is your business. It'll have your name on it. You get paid. He said, nah, this ain't mine. He said, my name ain't on it. He said, if they ever decide they want to pull the plug on this, what you gonna do? I heard everything he said, but I had to stick to the meeting, keep my game face on. I said, I understand what you're saying, bro, but this is going to be yours. You can pass this down to your children, blah, blah. He said, nah. I can pass it down right now to my children. But if they decide that this is a scam 10 years later, they decide to pull the plug on this 10 years later, and they decide it don't work no more, what I'm going to do? I say, yo, all right, but I was still able to quote unquote convince and recruit one of his other homies for his, and everybody went crazy when we go back to the damn Tuesday meetings and shit. We went every Tuesdays and Thursdays. The shit was fucking bananas. But we went back on a Tuesday, and as we in there, all that's on my mind is I don't own this shit. And he was fucking right. Everybody giving me my kudos. Yo, you did a 3-on-2, man. You got to come do mine. Like, you're that good with it and blah, blah, blah. All that's in my mind is this ain't my shit. This ain't my shit. So I left not with the fact that I wasn't making money. You feel me? Because I still had to work. I still had to go work. I still had to make other shit. And I was like, yo, y'all ain't really making no bread in this shit. I got to recruit 30 motherfuckers just to start getting paid. Kiss my ass, bro. I ain't find the 30 motherfuckers. I'm like, yo, y'all are from this area. Y'all go to school here. I'm coming from North Carolina to Philly to go to school. I don't know nobody. I literally have to start from scratch. I'm going to have to start from scratch either way I go. That was my shit. They had students, because like a lot of them were college students and shit like that, graduates. So they had employees, they had students, they had people that had already built relationships with over the years. I was only in Philly at that time for 3 months. Because 2015, I started in 2000. Yeah. So for 3 months, because I got there in August. Well, 4. For 4 months, I had been in Philly. I had no connections. I knew 7 motherfuckers and they were in the master's degree program with me in my class. That's all I knew. They were like, well, I said, so you guys get to start off with the warm audience. I got to start off with the cold motherfuckers. Then I thought back to that conversation. Well, fast forward. The conversations are starting to blend. But as I'm talking to the boy, and he's like, bruh, like all that kept playing in my head. He said, my name ain't on it. It ain't my shit. He said, you can make as much money as you want to with it, but it ain't yours. He said, I want what's mine. Black dude too. And then I was like, you right. You fucking right, bro. It ain't mine. So I took that experience. I'm gonna get back to the theme of the conversation. It's gonna tie in. So I took that experience and I left that MLM. And I said, the guy that I was recruiting, I said, look, I need a month. I said, I'm gonna take a month off to get my shit right. He said, however I feel, I'll decide if I'm gonna come back or not. But I said, I'll leave my account open so you can have, you're still your person under your leg so you can get your, you can recruit your next person to potentially have your money. But as of right now, I need to stay away from this. So I went away from it, got a job, and then I started talking to a real entrepreneur. Right? And I started talking to a real entrepreneur who was like, yo, bro, get out of that shit. He said, you too smart to be putting your time and energy into somebody else's business. Run your own shit. And I was like, damn, bro, shout out to my big homie Will. He got me started. Because I was trying to recruit his ass. Because I had just started working. I was trying to recruit his ass. He said, nah, man, you don't want to do that. But his perspective of telling me I didn't want to do that wasn't because he failed and didn't make money. It's because he did it and seen that there was a better way. And he knew that I could make a better way too. That's the difference between a what if and a oh well. The people that were telling me, oh, this is a scam, you ain't gonna make no money because I did one of those when I was your age and I didn't make any. You were in it for the money, not for what the business was supposed to teach you. So when he got in this and he was like, yo, you're gonna learn and you're gonna get all of this right here, but here's what you need to do to make a business work. So I left the shit, started, reading books and studying shit. And I was like, oh, I could do this for myself. That's when, he gave me that tip. He was like, yo, bro, why don't you put a quick ebook out? He said, you got a lot of knowledge. He said, you could write so many ebooks right now. And I did. I wrote So Frail and I wrote Hitting It Raw. And it's like, damn. Then I thought bigger. It helped me think bigger. So at this point, I'm aging. I'm not getting old. And so when I met up with some of those entrepreneurs who were in those, I had passed them. They were like, you guys, they were like, yo, you missed our last event. We went here, we went here, we went here. I'm like, yo, I got 2 books out already and they're selling and they have 5-star ratings. I said, my name is on that. You feel what I'm saying? There's no prouder feeling than that. My name is on that shit. I didn't fail. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, the business was oh well, but I learned something from that. So I went back to him and said, nah, I'm not coming back. He was like, yeah, I can tell. He said, you look a lot more energetic. It's like things that he said, your energy is different. I said, yeah, you can tell I'm not stressing. I'm not about to deal with that anymore. I'm done. I said, but yo, I appreciate the opportunity because it helped me learn a lot. And that was the same shit that I was in when the motherfucker at the front was telling shit that I was telling my team and I was telling it better than him. And he was making more than me. They said, one day you'll get there. You damn right I'm going to get there. Not through this motherfucker though. But I digress. Because the purpose and what I'm tying this back into is aging versus getting old. And then what ifs and oh wells, because as I'm looking at all of the people who quote unquote told me that they did business when they were my age, that they tried to start a business, that they tried to start this, and they couldn't do it. Why? So I asked them, why could I push through the wall and you couldn't? Does it mean that I'm a better person than you? Does it mean I got more drive, ambition than you? Does it mean no? It doesn't mean any of that. It means that our reasons why for doing it pushed us to do different things. Your reason why was simply to make a quick dollar. My reason why is to last forever. So when I go on and when something doesn't work, I don't give up. I make it work. I just push through until it does. And so when I look at a common theme of the people who have gotten old and the people who have aged, that's their separating factor. The people who got old tried something and left it alone. The people who aged tried something until they got it right. You feel me? And we busy taking advice and getting reassurance. Because I got an episode on that, reassurance versus advice. But we're busy trying to get advice from people who just reassure us of, oh, this is going to be heavy. We seek advice from people who can only reassure us of how they failed at something. Not only how they failed at something, but why we would fail too, because they have to base it off their experience. That's some heavy shit. That's a heavy pill to swallow. And those people are old. Those people didn't age. I have yet to meet a person who is actually aged, who when you ask them for advice, they can't tell you exactly the process that they did. You ask a person who just got old, like, why didn't this work? Well, I've been your age before. Tell me why it didn't work. You got to get older to see it. You'll know when you get older. No, that's right there is a problem. That is a problem. That is a delineating factor between who gets old and who ages. I want to be a motherfucker who, you feel me, when I'm telling my kids, my nephews, my grandkids, and all of that generation after me, when I'm telling them some shit, I can tell them why the shit will work, why the shit didn't work. Not because I said so, or not because I tried it and I failed, and I don't want to admit that I failed. I'd rather say that it wasn't right. You feel me? Do the MLMs not work? They work for certain people. You feel me? They work for the recruiters. You got to learn how to be a recruiter. Everybody ain't built to recruit shit. Everybody's built to be recruited, but everybody ain't built to recruit shit. You feel what I'm saying? So you got to figure out where you don't work in something. You feel me? But a lot of people never figure out why something doesn't work. They just quit. And those people that quit develop what ifs. And those people that develop what ifs, they just get older. Like when I said, there's no leaf left unturned in this world for me. You feel me? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still going to go accomplish it. I'm not saying, oh, I completed my life. I don't have anything. Everything in this world that I said I wanted to do, I did. And now I'm at the point where nobody can tell me what I can and can't do. Because I understand me and I understand me well on how to do that. And that's another thing about aging. You develop an understanding of yourself. Can't nobody tell you shit. All they can do is tell you their perspective of you based off. All they can do is tell you, project the experience that they had off of something onto you because they don't get it. And they can't get it. That's not your fault. They're old. They're old. You feel me? I see people who, talk about people at jobs and shit. And they be like, yo, I've been here for all of a year and a half. They've been here 40, 50 years and shit. And they mad that they not getting. I'm like, if you had a job for 40 or 50 years, I look at, I'm sorry, I look at life differently. I used to have that expectation. Oh, I want to retire at this job. No, that means that's insanity. I've lived the same life for 40 years, the same day of my life. I get it. You might have, this is just how I looked at it. Like you might have a different sporadic moment where this happens. But on the essence, on the central level, basically, you live the same life for 40 years of your life. 40 years, you live the same fucking life. You wake up, go to sleep, go to work, do the same fucking job every fucking day for 40 fucking years. That's insanity. I had a motherfucker tell me, oh, you're trying this and it's not working. And now this same person is approaching retirement age and they can't retire. They don't want to admit that they can't retire because they never did anything within the previous 40 years that they've been working, but they don't want to admit that they can't retire. So saying, you know me, I like to work, so I'm just going to go find something else. These are your last 10, 12, 13 years. Why are you trying to find more work? You can't. Give it up. Don't try. You feel me? But why does it have to be like that? Because now here I am. I'm at 31 taking the chances and shit. And it's like, this is a quick tangent. One of my old heads once said, he said, the youth is wasted on the young. Same old head. Now I'm going to use this, the exact same old head, right? He said, the youth is wasted on the young. I listened to that. He told me that when I was 20 years old. He said, the youth is wasted on the young. So I decided to use my youth wisely. And the whole time I caught criticism. You feel me? Like, nah, you need to be this. You told me the youth is wasted on the young. So now I'm trying not to waste my youth. And because I'm not wasting my youth, I am aging. And I am aging well. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like, in that regard, I'm looking at it from that perspective of, okay, so what did you do? Well, yeah, I did the same job. I got raises, I got promotions. I joined the union. I did all that shit. Okay, cool. That worked then. It don't work now. That worked then. It don't work now. We all need different hustles. We all need other jobs. So now that I'm doing a lot of other things, it's like, how are you doing that? Why didn't you think to? Like, it shocks me because it's like when I consider how many people would say, I want my children to be able, like, no, your children have to be able to do them because you got to show that you can do you. That's one of the hardest things. I can't motivate a child. I can't motivate anybody after me to do something that I have not turned into a well. If I'm still thinking about the what if didn't work for me. The shit didn't work for me. So all I can do is project onto you. I can't even give you the insight into why it didn't work for me. You feel me? Like when I tell people about MLMs, they're like, why don't they work? Oh, they work. They work. They serve their purpose. They serve the purpose that they're supposed to. It doesn't work for me because I am bigger than that. I am this. And I was able to tie that into certain things. You feel what I'm saying? Like I got a couple students right now. Most of my students in my Master in the Market course are from MLMs. They're from the Forex IM. You know how much I gotta overcome with them motherfuckers to say, yo, this is like, you're really gonna learn how to do something. You feel me? You're really gonna learn how to do something. They so fucking scarred from that shit because they lost so much money. It's like, yo, bruh, this is different. No, this is what the fuck is supposed to happen. You feel what I'm saying? But I understand the structure of how MLM works. So I understand that part. That now is a well for me because I've done it. But now I'm able to show how that structure works into multiple things. You feel what I'm saying? I used to sell cars. You know what I'm saying? I had people ask me when I started selling, yo, why don't you go get a job in forensics? That's all it is. I was just out of college. I needed a job right now. Forensics was saying I needed 3 years of experience. I just did 4 in undergrad. Now I got to go find 3 and I can't get it. Fuck that. I got to do what I got to do. So I sold cars, right? Same motherfuckers. Why you selling cars, man? You got a degree. You should be doing this. Every single one of them, when they go get a new car, I'm who they come to. Yo, you think this is going to be a good price? They're going to do this? Hey, yo, I'm about to go buy a car. Come with me. I'm that motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? I'm that motherfucker. When it's damn near everything that I've done in life is for other people because I'm the plug now. People who age become the plug. You feel what I'm saying? And I mean aging in the sense of its experience. Getting old is a matter of time. This is a bar. When I say this shit is gonna come out, so I shouldn't have stopped it. I should just let it flow. Getting old is a matter of time. Aging is a matter of experience. When people tell me that I'm aging, I mean that I'm getting old, I'm like, I'm not. I'm not. Because when I look at the last 6 years of my life, since becoming like a solid entrepreneur and actually building the things that I've done, these 6 years are long as fuck. Well, not long, long as in drawn out. They're real short. There's a lot in them. There's a lot in these 6 years that a lot of people don't know. And so I be having casual conversations with people and they be like, yo, you just not gonna slide past that. I was talking to one of my homies one time and like, we were just, building everything. And it was like, yo, when'd you learn that? I said, when I was in med school. They said, wait, you ain't just gonna skip past that, bro. You was in med school? I was like, yeah. Like, how you say that so nonchalantly? Like, I did it. Like, it's a oh well for me. You feel me? But again, it ain't what you walk away from, it's what you walk away with. Because it's what got me into med school. You feel me? My forensic biology background, my science perspectives and everything like that. When I got into med school, I seen it. I told the story. I fucked up first semester, got serious second semester, but my grandma got killed. But at the end of the day, I still learned a lot that I was supposed to learn out of that. And it kept me learning. People think I just stopped learning medical science. No, I still got my books. I still read them. I still study. So much so that I was able to write Hitting the Raw, Living a Raw Plant-Based Lifestyle for Life. All of that is scientific information that I just simplified. You dig what I mean? So while everybody is looking at the perspective of, some people, oh, you quit, you dropped out. Oh, well, I did it. I did what you couldn't. You feel me? Not only did I make it to the league, I played in the motherfucker. So much so that after playing in the motherfucker, I created my own little world. You feel me? Now I have done for people, what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to learn that shit. You feel me? People, I still got homies that come to me right now. Yo, bro, this right here is wrong. I got this, that, and what you think I should take? They know I'm gonna break down some herbs and give it to them. And they be like, yo, bro, that shit work. I had a homie, he was like, yo, I got a scratchy throat. What should I take? I said, go sip this, sip this and call me in the morning. I told him some fucking shit like that. But yeah, it worked. He went and was like, yo, bro, I'm good. I'm about to go to work, charge up, do my thing. You feel me? I done helped a lot of people do a lot of different things. A lot of people don't see on the backside. You feel me? I'm only telling it now because I'm telling the experience of the difference between aging and getting old, and people trying to make the two synonymous, and it's not. You feel me? Because we look at the physical aspect. Yeah, motherfucker got wrinkles or the motherfucker got grays and shit like that. I don't have wrinkles yet. I'm good on that still. But I got grays. So motherfuckers like, oh, you getting old. No, I'm aging, bro. Y'all don't understand how fruitful this life is. This shit is fucking amazing. And I noticed that everybody who is aged, when I listen to their stories of life, they're so vibrant. Like, you want to sit and listen to the motherfuckers. You be like, yo, this motherfucker has an interesting life, yo. How did you? But motherfuckers who've gotten old, misery loves company. Like, you just listen to them like, yo, you tell the same story every day. Or you speak on things that I don't care about. You feel me? Like, when I look at some of my homies that I used to grow up with back in the day, they be like, they tell stories from shits we was kids. Yo, remember when I did, like, yo, bro, what you doing right now, man? Just working, taking care of my girl and my kids. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I commend them. One thing I can say, all my homies and shit, although we was raised with fucked up relationships with our fathers, motherfucking, like, I'm the only one that ain't got kids and ain't married and shit. But they are with their woman, the same woman that they been. Well, one of them, he got like two, 3 baby mamas. But pay attention. He's in all of the kids' lives. He's motherfucking, but it's like, the cycle changed. But as I'm talking to him, it's like, yo, man, I'm taking care of my kids, working and shit, bro. They be like, but every time they talk to me, I got something new done. And I used to feel like, because people will make you feel like this. Oh, you gloating. You bragging. You an aged motherfucker talking to an old motherfucker. That's all. That's all. That ain't gloating. That's not bragging at all. It's falling on miserable ears. That's all. That's all that is. You are an aged person speaking to an old person. And old doesn't necessarily have to be 50, 60, 70 years old. You feel me? Old is dusty. Now I'm playing. Old is the function of time. Age is the function of experience. You feel what I'm saying? I've learned two different dynamics, and I've learned this just recently, which is again one of the reasons why I shut down that previous page of _just_sing_. That's an old page. It's old now. And I know that it's old because it's like every time I try to express something on it from the aged expression, the same old motherfuckers are there. You feel me? Same old motherfuckers who want to stay stuck in their ways are there. I'm like, y'all, this page has branched off to so many other different things. Go support that if you want to support me still. Well, what am I going to do from like, y'all were so fucking worried about what the fuck I was giving y'all that y'all ain't pay attention to what you were supposed to be giving back or what you were supposed to be doing with it. You feel me? And I was so focused on, okay, this page is, it started it all. I was like, nah, bro, I aged out of this page. That's it. The page is old now. There was a time when that page was aging. Now that aging has changed into being old. It's old. There's nothing more I can do there. Like, you feel what I'm saying? There's not another peace, love, knowledge, and freedom I have in me for that motherfucker. Like, for real. I seen the same cycles of loops every single day. I seen the same content, same people stuck in the same fucking problems. It's one thing when your shit is growing and you're not paying attention because you got other things going. But when you sit and focus on that one thing and you see people still stuck in the same position, complaining about people who have left them. Oh, that person did this. That person not who they say they are, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, but are you old and they're aging and you realize, and I realized, like, I've seen people who, talked about falling out and shit. Oh yeah, we were friends for 15 to 20 years and now we fell out. You didn't fall out. You aged. One of y'all aged and the other one got old. And y'all let the time dictate that relationship. Y'all let the time dictate that friendship. Y'all let the time dictate whatever was going on there. Not the age and the experiences. We do that shit with relationships too. I put in all this time. And your relationship got old, but it aged. All right. Look. The markets are not a difficult place to understand. All right. You just have to know what you're looking at. And there's 5 things that you need to see before you can make any market entry. First, you need a pocket so you can know which direction the market is going in. Second, you need a pullback so you can get the better price. Third, you need a battlefield so you can see when that market movement is slowing down. Fourth, you need the upper hand so you can see when the market reactivates. And last, you need a final push so you can see the exact moment when it's time to go with the direction you are already moving in. Okay? Of course, there's so much more that has to go into that, and it's not as cut and dry as that. But those are things that I teach in my Mastering the Market course. So if you would like to learn more, please visit IamJustSing.com and check out the Mastering the Market course today. Although it is directed and specialized for Forex, all of the skills, I crafted them to be transferable to any market that you're looking at. So again, visit IamJustSing.com and check out the Mastering the Market course today if you are truly looking to master the market. We be wondering why relationships don't work because we ain't letting them age. We letting them get old. You change. That's what the fuck happens when you age. You change, you grow, you transform, you evolve. Don't nobody want to do that shit anymore. And this now ties into the full theme. Nobody wants to get old. But all they do is get old. Because to actually age means that you have to change yourself. You have to change your circumstance. You have to change your environment. You have to grow. You feel me? When something gets old and you complain, you don't just make a lateral move. You make a vertical move. Keep going. Keep fucking going. But we don't make the vertical moves anymore. We don't make the vertical moves. We make the lateral moves, and then we complain about the lateral moves that we make and still have what ifs. Mad at a motherfucker who was turned they what if into an oh well. Now, like I said, you know how many oh wells I got? Motherfuckers be like, yo, you remember when you lost at this? Mm-hmm. I remember. But do you see how I'm winning with it now? But no, I remember when, yeah, I know that's what you remember me for. Reminding me of what I used to do shows where I left you, right? Reminding me when I used to do it shows how long I left you there. That's how I look at life. That's how I look at life. When motherfuckers say, I remember when you used to do this, you used to do this. Exactly. You remember when I used to do that. I don't do it anymore. You feel me? I don't do it anymore. I'm beyond it. I've aged. That's what happens. I've aged. You just got old. And because you got old, shit got dusty. You operated from the same perspective. Like so many people have told me, I've gone through the same things in life that you've gone through, but you could not push through the wall. Why? Tell me why. I don't see myself as some mystical creature, no unicorn or some shit. I see myself just like everybody else. What is the defining factor between me being able to push through the shit that you couldn't push through? And if you're telling me in the sense of, and this is when it comes to the other side of that, because if you're telling me in the same sense of, well, I couldn't do it. You feel what I'm saying? So I expect you not to be able to do it. But at the same token, when I could do it and I pushed through the wall, now I have to hold you accountable to why you couldn't. Because the whole time you were telling me that it was hard, but I did it. So why did you struggle? You feel me? Why did you struggle? I knew a motherfucker who always tell me, I was breaking down my classes one time and the motherfucker was like, yo, those classes are going to be hard. I know when I took them, it was like, man, it was so like you're taking chemistry, taking this, taking that. It's going to be hard. I said, all right, cool. Don't put that on me. No, I'm just saying you need to prepare. Don't put that on me. You had to prepare yourself. When I came out, I had all A's on all of those courses and I showed it to the person. It was like, ooh, no, because you told me that in the mentality, in the mental space that you were better than me or you were superior to me or that because it was a challenge to you, it's supposed to be a challenge to me. So now I have to ask you, why did you struggle with it? That's a moment of silence. I put that shit on everybody because if you put that shit on me and I achieve it and I achieve it well, now I got to flip it back on you. Why did you fail? Because your entire time, your entire reasoning for telling me that something didn't work was because you did it. But your entire reasoning for something telling me something was not going to work in my favor. It was going to be too difficult. It was going to be this, that, and the third. And I did it easily. I made it look easy when I finished the motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? You got to eat that because now you have to come to terms with the fact that they did it well and I couldn't do it at all. I'm on it today. I'm telling y'all, I'm in a different bag. They don't want to hear that though, because those are old motherfuckers. An aged motherfucker is just like, yo, I'm gonna figure out how to do it. When it's all said and done, this is another thing. I was watching this battle rap shit. And this shit touched my soul when Bull said this shit. He said, man, I done forgot more shit than some of these motherfuckers learned. I said, dawg, how dare you say that? That is such a fucking bar. That's what it's like to age. Not on any funny shit. I really have in this life forgotten shit that motherfuckers haven't even learned yet. You feel me? I'm learning that now as I'm, putting now more attention into my Master the Market brand and building that up. Right? I'm talking to some of my, there's shit that I do that's just like, this is second nature for me now. I don't, you know what I mean? They're like, bruh, how are you doing? I don't realize how sometimes when you get good at something, you don't realize you lose that separation of when you first started, that beginner area. You feel what I'm saying? Because it kind of disappears because you kind of gotten so used to it. So you don't know you got to go back to being able to relate to the beginner in you that got you there. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain words I got to address, certain things I got to say that I can't, you know what I mean? So I'm learning that when people, I'm like, yo, that's basic shit for me now. But I'm learning that was complex shit for a lot of motherfuckers. You feel me? I was just talking to somebody. I think I made a post about buying on the wrong dip. And this guy was like, off rip, he said, yo, I got to copy your course. He said, you were the only person I've ever heard talk about buying the dips in the wrong control. He said, I've never heard that before. He said, is that in your course? I'm like, yeah. And my thing is like, that's the basic for me. That's like the first step that you got to figure out before you can even make a trade or an investment. Like, you need to know who's in control. And I was like, damn, all of these gurus, all of these people is like, yo, it's different. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, when you age, you forget a lot of shit because you've learned so much. When you get old, you remember a lot of shit because you ain't learned nothing. Oh my God. The reason why this conversation is so deep, it's not even just because of the facial hairs and shit, and the motherfuckers talking about my grades. Like, this is more of a recollection moment for myself because I vowed to myself that I would live a full life. I would live a full life. When I was 17 years old, I told myself I will live a full life and I will never, ever take life for granted. Well, I was 16, 17. Either way, a death threat was coming and motherfuckers wanted to kill us. You feel me? I told that story before, but that moment I said, you know what? I will never take life for granted again because it could be taken from me at any time. I will live every moment to my fullest, to my highest capacity. Then when I got older, like I said, at like 22, 23, I wrote that song, you know, What Ifs and No Wells. I got tired of having what ifs. I really got like, I don't think y'all understand what a what if does. You can say I'm an Aries, alpha, leader, whatever the case may be, whoever the fuck it is. I don't care. The point that I'm making is the type of motherfucker that I am, what ifs hurt my feelings. What ifs will break me down. I cannot sleep at night if I have what ifs. You feel me? From something simple as, yo, I could have got her number. You feel me? Damn, I should have got her number. And you know what? Low key, that's when it started. Getting phone numbers. I would see a bad chick and never holler at her and shit. Like, that's what got me good at getting numbers because it was like, and you know, just speaking to women, they like, that's what got me the whole face. Anyway, in those moments when I would always look, you know how they talk about the dudes who be in the club? Yeah, man, we go in the club talking about, yo, let's get on the girls and blah, blah, blah. And they just stand there and look. I was never that person. So I had to get to that point because I hated what ifs. I would rather get curbed. I would rather get rejected. I would rather get turned down than wonder if I could have got her. You feel me? Now, because I am in a position where I know how to deal with OLs, I can process rejection. You feel me? I don't trip on rejection, but you feel what I'm saying? I don't dwell on what ifs anymore. You feel me? And I think as people, as humans, we need to get out of that what if phase because a lot of people, we get caught up in what if simply because of when we're trying to people please. If this person told me I should have lived this life, I ain't living for nobody. No, and not only, my thing is this, not only did I have accomplished what everybody else wanted me to accomplish, now I'm doing my own shit. Motherfuckers don't like that. Oh, you should go to college to this. I went to college. Made everybody proud. You feel me? Went to med school, made everybody proud. You feel me? Everything that I did to make everybody proud, but I was miserable. And I was just getting old. I was just getting old at that point. But nobody's seen it. And nobody seemed to care. You feel me? I remember when I got my undergrad degree, one of my advisors, she asked me, she said, why didn't you send out any invites for your invitations for your degree? I said, I mean, it's just a degree. She was like, this is like, you're the first one to graduate and it's a science degree and you graduate with honors. She's like, we need more black men like you, blah, blah, blah. Give me the whole spiel. I said, I didn't want it. This ain't mine. I didn't do this for me. You feel me? I did this for them. I did this for my family. I did this for people that believe that it could be done and shit like that. Now what? Oh, well, it's done. Like, what more do you want me to do? It wasn't until I started doing shit for myself that I started aging. And I say I started aging, like time slowed down. When you getting old, time speeds up. Same amount of time, but time speeds up like a motherfucker. But when you aging, time slows down. Like you pace day by day. But when you getting older, shit just, because when I look at my time from undergrad, fresh out of undergrad into when I started my entrepreneurship, that was 3 years. That was a long 3 years, right? Because I was 22, then I went to med school at 24, and then I went to Philly when I was 25. Yeah, 3 years. That shit was long. That was a long ass 3 years. It was like, this last 6 years has been short as fuck. From 25 to 31 has been short. I'm like, yo, how much like time has really passed this fast? Because I've been aging. And the people around me, the entrepreneurs around me, the people that are like, we've been aging. And we talking to motherfuckers who getting old. And people mad, like when motherfuckers that got old, it's like, yo, you're old to me now. You didn't age with me. You got old on me. I'm telling you, I got so many quotables in this joint, yo. I'm not even gonna toot my horn on this motherfucker. You feel me? But you didn't age with me. You got old on me. This is relationships. This is everything. Motherfuckers be like, why didn't the relationship work? Because it's two motherfuckers who were scared to make a oh well. And like they didn't want to make a oh well. So they dwelled on the what if, and then they got old together. I don't want to get old with no fucking body. You got to age with me. And when we get to the point where we can't age together anymore, cool. I'm still going to keep aging. You can get old. You can switch to getting old, but I have to keep aging. So I need somebody who's going to age with me. I don't want to get old. I don't want to just let time pass and we together. No, let's age. Let's become the wine. Let's become the interfusing of a greater perspective within ourselves. Something better, something more powerful. You feel me? I don't want to just get old. I'm looking at how many old motherfuckers is miserable now. You feel me? When I'm in the age of a lot of the motherfuckers who are old, who I'm considering old right now, I'm not even going to be thinking about doing what the fuck they doing. 4 years ago, I told my peers, I told, now this is part familiar. We had a little family get together. I told the elders, I told the peers, and I told the next generation. I said, my generation can't retire. Oh, I'm going to retire with this, that, and the third. My generation can't retire. I said a generation after that, no, my pension's locked in, this, that, and the third. All right. This was 4 years ago I said this shit. 4. I said, my generation can't retire. And the generation we're in right now, the ones that are approaching, they might not be able to retire. They're going to need to get another job. No, I'm not. I've been working for 40 years. I'll be daggone if I'm going to do that. 4 years later. 4 years later. 4 years later, I got motherfuckers in their 50s and 60s still working full-time jobs, 60, 70 hours. It's like, yo, bruh, you can't, you not coming home? You like, when I got to keep working. I got to pay these bills. Like I told y'all. All y'all had to do was fuck with me then. You feel me? I've been telling everybody, you know, I had this quote. Motherfuckers are like, yo, the motherfucker asked me, yo, you the black sheep of your family, huh? Nigga, I'm the shepherd. They just don't want to listen. Fuck it. And I'm only gonna, you know what I mean? I've been guiding them. But at this point, it's like everybody's approaching that age where everything that I said is coming to pass. On some prophetic type shit. It's like, yo, you, if y'all would have fucked with me 4 years ago, when I say, yo, everybody, let's pool our money together and learn the skill of investing and trading. Everybody, let's pool our money together and invest in this. Let's invest in this. Oh, nah, that's gambling. That's this, that, and the third. All right, here I am 4 years later. Can you teach me how to? You got to pay me. You gonna do family like that? Family did me like that. I came to y'all because y'all were old and y'all didn't have the age to tie the experience to the fact that what we doing ain't working. They got old at some shit. So they was like, maybe I'm just gonna wait for my moment to happen. That's how religion and all of that shit played a lot of motherfuckers. Our older generation is waiting on something. They're just getting old. They're not aging. They're waiting on something while everybody else around them is aging. They're creating experiences. You feel me? Motherfuckers really be asking me how old I am. I'll be like, I don't know anymore. I don't feel 31. I know physically by birth I'm 31 years old by paper. But other than that, I don't feel 31. And it depends on what you're talking to me about. You feel me? It depends on what you're talking to me about. Because some shit, I feel like I'm 50. Some shit, I feel like I'm 12. Some shit is the experience. And I've learned that that's what age really is. That's why it's a state of mind. It's how well you become experienced with something, not how long you've been on this earth before. Motherfuckers, I've lived longer than you. Did you? Did you? Did you? Mm-mm. My experience with shit is different. And so is the experience of people who have actually aged. Old motherfuckers ain't got no experience. That's why they can remember so much. That was a bar the first time I said it. I don't even remember how I said it, but I know the first time I said it was a lot colder than that. But people that are old, they can remember so much because they don't learn anything new. Aged motherfuckers, people who age, it's like, yo, you don't remember that? You feel me? Now, don't get me some aged people, depending on how they tie the experience into it. If when you age and you get that experience, like they remember shit from like a long time ago, but when they tell you what they remember, it's the experience, not the circumstance. Like, the experience of what happened. What did it teach them? What did they learn from that? And if they didn't learn anything from it, like they're likely to remember. They're likely to forget it. It's like, I did what? Oh shit. Damn, I do remember that. So yeah, you remember this because there was nothing learned in that. That's why you remember that you got old. You remember the shit that nothing happened with. You remember the experience, the circumstances that nothing was learned from, but you don't remember the experiences that shit was gained with. You don't internalize them. You feel me? And I'm learning people are afraid to get old because people are afraid to get old because it acknowledges that they don't do shit with themselves. And it just affirms how much more time goes on where nothing happens. Nothing is happening. That's a tragic reality. You feel what I'm saying? That's a tragic reality. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at my peers. I'm looking at my team. I'm looking at my group, the people that I really fuck with heavy. And I'm like, yo, we don't age, y'all. Like, what you mean? I'm like, and I'd be looking and I'd be thinking like, yo, y'all, we don't age. I'm gauged some of my homies and shit. I'm gauging their age by their kids. You feel what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, wait, you got a 10-year-old? When? Over the last 10 years, motherfucker. It's like, damn. We've known each other that long? Because we aged. We got experience. Like, our friendship wasn't just off of time, it was off of experience. You feel me? I stopped saying shit like, yo, I got old friends. That's not if you an old friend, you an old friend. I how to address that. But my immediate circle right now, they're not old friends. They're aged friends. They're aged friends. We went through some shit. We've experienced a lot together. We've aged and matured on some shit. You feel me? Motherfucker just got old. There's a motherfucker that just got old. There's people still getting old. And you're aging with them. And you don't even, you were looking at them like, what the fuck can't you develop about yourself? They're getting old. They're not aging. They're not willing to take on the experiences of life. They're not willing to go through the hurdles and the obstacles that you go through, but they'll criticize you. Case in point, I'm not picking sides either way. I really don't give a fuck about the shit, but it just shows how quick shit can change. You feel what I'm saying? When Sha'Carri Richardson was running, you feel me? When she first ran, she became an Olympian or whatever the case may be. She was fast. She's still fast. I don't give a fuck. Like, when you in the Olympics and you racing with Olympians, everybody's fast. Like, you feel me? But anywho, the point that I'm making, I'm gonna get to the reason why I'm making it. So she ran, she won. Then she got, the weed and shit. Her mom, her mom died. This, that, and the third, and blah, 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 blah. Instantly, she lost. She lost. And everybody's like, should have been smoking weed. They threw under the bus that fucking fast, my guy. It's like, you feel me? And those same type motherfuckers. And instantly in this moment, I was able to tell who's old and who has aged. You feel me? These old motherfuckers, the people that have responded negatively on some, oh, see, she shouldn't have been doing this and that. Also, you motherfuckers doing the crate challenge, y'all old. But anyway, the people that have done that, those people have the mentality and the profile and the avatar of what an old motherfucker is going to be. You feel me? What an old motherfucker is going to be. The aged motherfuckers is like, bro, she lost to other fast motherfuckers. I can't get mad. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, it ain't like she was hands down the fastest in the world and lost, that's different. You're not supposed to lose. Everybody, oh, she was popping all that shit and got dusted by other fast motherfuckers. The fuck? We wouldn't put a Ferrari against, okay, look, let's say it like this. You got a Ferrari, you got a, now I'm not even gonna use the top cars like this. Each one of these cars, let's say each one of these cars has can run top speed at 180 miles per hour, right? That's when it would redline, right? There's 4 cars and they all can run at 180 miles per hour. However, even though that's where they redline, they all have different levels of horsepower. All of these motherfuckers are fast. They're cars. They're all fast. But one car is gonna beat the other. Simple. What dudes say on Fast and Furious when it was actually a racing movie? Whether you win by an inch or you win by a mile, a win is a win. Right? So they're like, yo, she came dead last against other fast motherfuckers. And at the end of the day, I'm like, yo, you still won Duster though. You still couldn't beat her. Like, that's an old motherfucker for you. Telling the motherfucker some shit that they couldn't do, like bringing up how a motherfucker couldn't do some shit that you couldn't even scratch the surface with. You feel me? And Asian motherfucker is different. It's like, yo, I mean, she got beat by other fast motherfuckers. And I can tell the people who were on the side of, yo, bro, like, come on, man, she lost, so what? But the people that wanted to drag it down and keep bringing it up, those are old motherfuckers. Those are the old mentality motherfuckers who continually have to remember shit because they don't learn anything new. You feel me? Age motherfuckers is already on to the next one, already on to the next prospect of life, and it is what it is. But you old motherfuckers can't do that. And I said that example simply because of when you look at people who are always in the know of the happening, they're getting old. They're always able to recollect and remember certain shit from certain moments and shit like that. But that's where they're stuck at in the memory because they're not learning anything new. Tying it back into, I done forgot more shit than most motherfuckers learn. From a personal perspective and from the perspective of how I heard that quote. Motherfuckers telling me about, Sha'Carri Richardson. I don't care. When they told me about it, I was like, oh, damn, she got caught smoking weed again. I was like, yeah, I heard about that. Oh, nah, this is different. She got beat in the race. Oh. Okay. She did all of that shit talking about how she's the fastest. She is still fast. Is she not? So I was like, wait, did she get beat by slow people? Nah, they was running fast too. So why should I give a fuck what you want me to care about? I'm just saying, like, she got beat. The fuck does that got to do with me? She did all that popping and shit. That's about her. She lost to other fast motherfuckers, right? What does that do for either of us? What does that do for this conversation? What does that do for the betterment of the world? You feel me? Y'all went from all of that support of it's weird shit. We like old people like preying on people's downfall because old people are miserable. Old doesn't necessarily have to be a specific age. Old is a state of mind. Just like aging is a state of mind. You feel what I mean? And these motherfuckers who get caught in it are the same motherfuckers who dwell on what ifs. Not OLs. You feel me? Tying it to that same example. The motherfuckers who are worried about, oh, she got beat and all that. They're what if type motherfuckers. I can look at their life right now just off of how they're responding to current events. They, what if this would have happened? What if, oh, she was supposed to, like, that's a what if mentality. You feel me? The OL is, oh, she lost. Okay. The fuck. The fuck. You want me, like, why do you care? Why does that matter? What does that do for you? Those are people who can't age. They have to stay in the moment. Pay attention. Like, listen to your conversations with people and you can see who's aging and who's actually getting old. Low key. You feel me? Listen to the like, if every time you talk to somebody, it's the same conversation, mostly, y'all are getting old together. And don't even know it. It's just a matter of time. Everybody be like, oh, we got so many memories, but do we have any growth? I don't give a fuck about memories anymore. I don't give a fuck about memories with people. I give a fuck about experiences. I know that's semantics because eventually an experience is going to become a memory. That's not what I mean. I mean, an experience that's going to grow us. I don't care about memories that kept us in the moment. I worry about experiences that made us grow. Fuck a memory. Because now when shit hits the fan, if shit hits the fan, where we gonna go from that? I just wasted all of this time on you. Like, there's not a single person who's ever entered my space who has said, yo, my time with you was a waste. It's like, bro, I met you for a reason. And it's like, this is why like a lot of women low-key be feeling like they indebted to me that I dated. They're like, oh my gosh, you taught me so much. And it's because that's what aging is about. I aged with you. You got old with me, motherfucker. Motherfucker. But anywho, the point that I'm making with that and all of that is to tie into the main dynamic and the main connection of people being afraid to get old. People being afraid to get old, so they stay stuck in the loops. You feel me? Like, you got women's 40 years old having hot girl summers, started by girls who are only 24, 25 years old. Like, you really are, you supposed to be her big homie, pulling her to the side, but she's dictating your reality right now because you old. I'm gonna go have a hot girl summer too. You ain't been a hot girl since Lil Wayne and them dropped Hot Girl. God damn. How you gonna have a hot girl summer? Shit. You might likely have a lukewarm lady fall or some shit. You might want to chill out, baby. Like, but the point that I'm making with that, because I'm tied to the other side. Dudes that are, you know what I mean, still rocking certain shit. Like, dudes that will get the whole Beijing and the whole lace. Now they got the lace front shits and shit. Like, yo, just balled it up, bro. Motherfuckers act like when I went bald, motherfuckers was like, yo, why you go bald, man? Because I was 28 when I think I officially did it. 20, no. Yeah, I was like 28. Because 26, I still had hair. Like, I still had 26, 27, I still had hair, I still had waves. But at that point, it was like, it's thinning, bro. Who cares? Like, I'm like, yo, fuck it. So they asked me, yo, why you go bald? Because my hair was thinning. You could have put something over it. Fuck no. That looks stupid as hell. So I can look like you goofy motherfuckers? No. My hair is thinning and it's obvious. There's nothing I can do for that. Like, what the fuck? Like, let it go. Just went bald. And incidentally, as I went bald, as the balder I got, the more my beard came in, and it just worked. It aligned perfectly for me. So I'm like, shit, nigga. I don't know about y'all, but my shit worked. You feel me? But it's like, I'm watching how a lot of people don't want to embrace getting old. And I mean, in the sense of developing life. Everybody wants to stay. Like, I had employees that were 50 years old, still doing the shit that I like. That blew my mind. Like, bro, you 50 showing me a twerk video. I'm going to watch it. Because at the time I was like 27. Yeah, I was definitely 27 because I left when I was 28, but I was 27 at the time. So I'm like, I'm going to watch it. But because the ass you showing me, she look about my age. So I could watch that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's like, yo, you're 50. She's my age. I'm old enough to be your son. You feel me? Nobody wants to grow old. And all this whole perspective came about because somebody told me I had grays in my beard and they had grays in their hair. And it's like, they would dye their hair. I'm not there like, yo, you're not going to touch your beard up and get some just for men. Fuck no. I want my grays. My grays are a badge of honor to me. You feel me? I'm going to tell stories about my shit. Yo, you got grays. I know this gray right here came from Mastering the Market. You feel me? This gray came right here from trying to promote and develop So Frail. This grape right here came from med school and shit. You know, my grandma got killed having to push through that. My shits tell a story, bro. That's what your grades are supposed to be. As they say, you feel me? You get the hair, the crown of, you know, one thing that I was told was that old age is a privilege, is the privilege denied to many. I never understood what that meant. Cause I'm like, nigga, man, motherfuckers get old all the fucking time, bro. I get it. Aging is a privilege, it's a privilege denied to many. A lot of motherfuckers get old, but not many motherfuckers age. So old age, when you put both of them motherfuckers together, when you have a long time full of experience, old age, that is a privilege denied to many. Because some motherfuckers get old and experience nothing. Some motherfuckers experience everything and never get old. Where's the fine line in the middle where you can get both? You feel me? 50 Cent said something powerful about Pop Smoke. 50 Cent said, Pop Smoke is when you try to get rich, but you die trying. 50 Cent's story was get rich or die trying. But he was like, yo, Pop Smoke was what happens when you trying to get rich and you die trying. That's why he was like, yo, he has so much respect for him and everything like that. But it's like that iconic phrase just, it hit me differently. It's like old age is a privilege denied to many. And that's why I'm like, yo, I've aged. Now I can get old. You feel me? There's like, yo, the good die young or whatever the case may be. Look at how fast they're experiencing life. They're speeding it up. So where's the common ground where you have to find that common ground where you're able to experience life and you're able to extend the experiences that you have in that time pocket? You feel what I'm saying? And because a lot of people don't want to, like, a lot of people avoid, they avoid the experience so they can get old. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of people rush their experience so they don't have to get old. You know, ultimately die faster, heart diseases, all of this other thing. Where's the common ground where you find that ebb and flow? You feel me? And because a lot of people don't do that, that's why a lot of people are afraid to get old. But don't be. Don't be afraid of wasting time. You feel me? Instead, be conscious that you're filling that time every year of your life. You're filling it with some kind of fruitful experience to develop yourself and grow. You feel me? Develop yourself and grow. I know people that have started businesses since meeting me. I know people that like, and they're really developing themselves. And they're like, yo, bro, I can look in their face and they're like, yo, I'm aging backwards. I'm not getting old anymore. You're still getting old, but the physical expression of your age is now starting to diminish because now your mental and spiritual are developing too. And that's what the aging process is. It keeps you young. That's the plot twist to the shit. Aging actually keeps you physically young, not getting old. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, black don't crack. We got a lot of experiences that won't crack us. That's why we don't fold under pressure. The fuck? But all in all, there were so many different levels of what I was going with this. But the core of all of this shit, to get old and to age should be merged. You feel me? Don't just be afraid of not getting old. You know, you feel me? And being on the physical shit. Oh, I still want to go to the young parties. I still want to do this, you know, cook with the younger people and all of that shit and do that goofy shit. Like, no, that shit crazy. You feel me? You still like, I remember I was like 28, 29. Motherfuckers like, my employees would, well, when I was working, so I had 28, 27, 28. My employees would invite me, yo, let's go to the club. I went one time for my homie on birthday, but other than that, I was like, bro, I can't go to y'all clubs. What you mean? Bro, yes, you can. It be people older than you in there. That's the fucking problem. That's what I'm talking about. I can't go to y'all clubs. You feel me? Because of that reason. But in that, as I watch and I sit back, a lot of people just get old and waste away and they don't age. And then when they see somebody who ages, they don't like it. They want you to be miserable. I can't. My age won't allow me to be miserable because my age is contingent upon my experiences. So now I tell people, yeah, I'm 31, but you don't know I don't even know how many experiences I am. And that's just in this physical vessel right here. Don't even count the past lives I've had in this bitch. You feel me? I don't know. I'm just experiences old. I just happen to be 31. Just like most motherfuckers. And it's like you have on the other side of that people who have no experience, but they're in their 60s and 70s. This happened to a lot of women, a lot of our grandmothers and our aunties and shit who were in relationships and with husbands for 60 years. They ain't got no experience with that motherfucker. They didn't age. They just got old in that shit. You feel me? They got old in that shit. That's a problem, you know? So take a look at life and just ask yourself from this point forward. You don't have to fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, just a perspective. But do you really want to get older or do you want to age? And how well do you want to do it? And don't forget to take a moment to go get your exclusive merchandise from Just Scenes merch. At Just Scenes, each piece is specifically crafted with positive imagery and symbolism. From the titles and designs to the descriptions, each style gives you something to feel great about. With everything from hoodies and tees to coffee mugs and tote bags, we have something for the entire family. So be sure to get yours today. Find us on Instagram at Just Scenes merch and get your merchandise right now. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up there because I got shit to do, y'all. I got shit to do. I got a lot of work to do. But yeah, all that was prompted because watch how people just don't want to get old. My motherfucker really acted like me having grays in my beard was a problem. You feel me? Look, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Yo, that salt and pepper. So I'm telling you, bro, the salt and pepper, look, it gets the yoni. It gets the yoni. So again, if that's what you want to base it on, you know what I'm saying? It's still a work for you, bro. Like, you feel me? But I'm watching how so many people like, I'm gonna get the dyes, I'm gonna dye my hair. It's like everything is about I want to physically stay young because it allows me to, I still got time to do all that I want to do. And like, you don't. You don't. You get a certain amount of time in this world. Certain amount of time in this world. Every day you've already used up all that time. You feel me? Like no funny shit. No funny shit. You've literally already used all the time you had. Let that sit for a second. I know we can watch on the outside looking in. People can go to be 70 years old. People can live to 90. People can live to 100. You right now have only lived as old as you are right now. What have you done with all of the time that you've had thus far? That's what living is about. That's what life is supposed to be about. Every moment of your life, you're doing what you're supposed to do with the time that you have. Do it. With the time that you have, what will you create? With the time that you have, what will you put into this world? With the time that you have, are you just going to get old or are you going to age? Some people look at the time that they have and think that they're going to have more time. Some people take the time that they have and create more time. It's all in what you choose to do. Are you going to get old or are you going to age? How will you look at your life going forward? How will you experience yourself? How will you experience your life going forward? 10 years from now, you can't predict 10 years from now. So what are you doing today to solidify yourself 10 years from now? Like ask yourself right now, if I wanted to extend 10 years of my life today, what would I do? In that same dynamic, ask yourself, if I wanted to reduce 10 years from my life today, what would I do? The answer to those questions will determine if you're going to age or get old over the next 10 years. The answer to that question, to those questions, will determine whether or not you are going to age or get old in the next 10 years, because your lifestyle will either be aligned with one of those dynamics. Whichever dynamic it's aligned with will determine your next 10 years of life. That which can shorten your life within the next 10 years is going to make you old. You feel me? Not mentally stimulating yourself, not reading, not educating yourself, not growing, repeating the same processes over and over again. That's shortening your life because you're not living. You feel me? Align with the shit that is going to allow you to age over the next 10 years. And then you'll see where you'll be at the next 10 years. Do a hindsight 2020 check. Look at the last 10 years of your life and look at the things that you've done. If you consider yourself old, if you look like over the last 10 years, I didn't fulfill anything, or you look at the last 10 years, I fulfilled a lot, or if you have a sporadic mix in between, look at where you lived and look at where you were old and look at where you aged. Look at what made you get older and look at what made you age. from the dynamic in which we're talking about and charge that to the game. Look at your life like that. Look at your life from that perspective and that dynamic. Continually to push yourself and say, now I'm not mean pushing yourself in the sense of I gotta have some intention with the shit that you're doing. That's another reason why a lot of motherfuckers, like I said, they get old because they tried some shit with no intentions, only a goal. I have a podcast episode on intentions and goals, but go check that out. But a lot of people do shit for a goal. Usually that goal is money, not the intention. And that's why they can't age with it. When I teach people about Forex, stocks, all that, fuck all of the details. The principle I teach people is how to understand a fucking chart in the market. This is a skill and a resource that can never be taken away. It don't matter if I'm on a Forex charts, crypto, stocks, ETFs, commodities. I don't care. I know how to read a chart. That is a valuable skill. And I teach people how to do the same thing. No matter where I go, I have that skill. You feel me? I've aged in that regard. Money will always come to me because of that, because now I know how to create the money that I want at will. Like at this moment right now, I'm in a rolling trade right now that I started last night that has been taken off. I'm chilling. I know where this motherfucker's gonna go. It'll probably be there by like 2:00 this afternoon. I don't have nothing else to do for the day because of that. You feel me? Nothing else to do. And I'm teaching people to do the same shit. Why? Because this is a skill and this is a resource. Now, I've aged in that. When I first started this shit, it wasn't like that. But now the people that have told me that they tried it, oh, I wanted to get into stocks. I wanted to get in this. I wanted to do the broker. I wanted to do all of this. What made you stop? You got old. It got old to you. You weren't gaining any experience with it. You were just doing some shit. Are you living life like that? Where you're actually aging with the things that you're involving yourself with? Or are you just doing some shit just to say you did it? No intention. Because the intention is going to see it through. The goal is just, they tell you, oh, write your goals down. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Goals don't mean shit without intentions. If you don't have an intentional reason for why you're doing something, if you don't have an intentional purpose for why you are doing something, a goal means nothing. You have no reason to tie yourself to that goal to complete it. People be like, oh, I want to go to the gym and lose weight. You don't have an intention as to why you want to go to the gym and consistently work out to lose weight. What is your solid intention behind it? Losing weight isn't going to work. Losing weight doesn't cut it. Do you know why? Because your intention, you know that it's a goal when your intention can be erased by something that somebody else says. You know how many motherfuckers would make this is no shot towards anybody or anything like this, but this is a reality of how we got to look at it. They have made obesity a norm, so much so that, especially amongst black women, they've done this for years. Put a top overweight black woman in and say, oh, just love it. Okay. But you're not telling her about her health. So now when you see that woman who's set the goal, oh, I'm going to lose 50 pounds by this amount of time. You feel me? There's something that can make her lose that goal, because it's like, oh, motherfuckers going to love it anyway. Motherfuckers going to do this. Girl, you can't do that. That's not solid. Your intention means that you cannot deviate from it no matter what happens. So when your intention is, I'm going to lose 50 pounds, you lose it and you keep it off. But when it's just the goal, you lose it, then you gain it right back, probably more. You feel me? And then you want to feel bad and say, oh, people got to accept me as I am. You don't accept you as you are. That's why you can't that's why you can't put the intention into the shit to get shit done. And I don't want it to seem like I'm just, riping on women or whatever the case may be, because I don't want to come off like that. My brothers, we got stupid shit that we do, that we set goals for, but we don't set the intentions for that we do. And a lot of the shit that we set our goals for is off of more stupid shit. It's even dumber than the fact of setting an intention to easily be distracted by, easily be distracted by the media. You feel what I'm saying? We can set the intention of really wanting a woman. Well, set a goal. Okay, I really want this woman. But now set the intention. You can go listen to a motherfucking song that'll tell you fuck bitches get money. And you'll fuck that bitch, man. I don't really care. And then you go do some stupid shit because your intention isn't set. Intention can't be overridden. You feel me? The intention within you that is set within your core and your soul can't be overridden. The moment you think it can, the moment you try to, because the intentions are tied to your unconscious mind. But when you set a goal, that can be changed at will. All you have to do is decide, I don't want to do it anymore. But the intention is there. The intention is going to give you that insatiable appetite to keep going. The intention is going to be what determines if you age. And the goal is going to be determined if you get old. Well, I was trying it and it didn't work. So, whatever. Then it leads to a what if. Now you like Eeyore and shit. Well, back when I was 12, I wanted to draw, but you feel me? One thing that showed me early on that I age in this world rather than getting old was the fact that when I was younger, when I was a kid, we didn't have cable. Like, so Nickelodeon, like we didn't get cable till I was 12 and I'm the youngest. So we didn't get, and then we only got basic cable. So it wasn't like we had all the channels and shit, but we didn't get cable until I was 12 years old. So if it wasn't on basic TV, I didn't watch it. So, and this was probably one of the reasons why I watched Dragon Ball Z, because when I was in school, like everybody talked about it, but I never watched it. I was able to catch Pokemon. I was able to catch Digimon. Certain things that I was able to catch, but we never had cable. And, the shit that I was able to watch at my friend's house because they had cable and shit. But other than that, didn't have it. So the shit that people grew up on, I ain't had those memories. So I was like, as I got older, I was just like, yo, fuck it. Let me watch it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got people who would dwell on the fact that, I know people who would say, okay, well, I didn't have this growing up. Get it now. I don't get what the problem is at this point. Like, just get it now. Like, you feel me? Now, when I was young, I missed out on. Go do it now. And I think that's just something that I think is just from my bloodline as a whole, and I mean immediate bloodline as far as brother and sister, because a lot of the shit that we didn't have as kids, we just got when we were older and played with it, and then gave it up. Real shit. I remember we always jumped on friends' trampolines because we didn't have our own trampoline. But I remember what happened when my mama moved. I was going to college. My mama bought her house, and so my sister was looking. She said, "Yo, I always wanted a trampoline at the house. Fuck it, let's go get a trampoline." We bought a trampoline to put in my mama's backyard, and we jumped on that bitch for all of 2 weeks, just because it was like, well, we didn't have this as children, so let's have it now. You feel what I'm saying? My bad. Shit hurt. But that showed me what it's like that I've been doing that all my life, like aging as opposed to getting old. Like, I don't dwell on what ifs. I just make it happen, and then it's oh well. Like I said, that trampoline's oh well now. Feel me? So much so that it was just like, yo, we just had to give it to somebody who actually had kids. It's like, what y'all buy the trampoline for? We really it's just for the nostalgia and to have it and say, oh, we had a trampoline in the backyard. This mama house, bro. Like, the fuck? Like, we grown, but jumped on the trampoline, still flipped like we, took it back. Just because. You feel me? But then, like I said, I watch how people who get old were, yeah, when I was young, I ain't had this. I couldn't have this. Oh, well, just like, and they dwell on what if I would have this. So now for them, it's like, I want to give my kids this. You feel me? I want to give my kids what I experienced. You feel me? So I can experience it with them. I don't want to give my kids what I never had. That's stupid. I've learned that that's stupid because that creates you're just giving them shit. You don't even know when to stop giving them shit because you just like, I never had it. So now you're dwelling on how old you were. You never learned the actual memory of what developed, what could have developed with that. You feel me? Then you get spoiled kids. People are like, oh, my kid's going to be spoiled. Spoiled shit gets thrown away. You feel me? But all in all, I don't want to get too off because the theme still has to remain the same. This is about the difference between getting old and aging. And if we as people would embrace getting old more, I think we would age better. We will be willing to, we won't be trying to beat clocks and shit. Like, that's some of the shit that happened to me early on. Like, motherfuckers like, yo, by 30, by 25, you need to do this. By 30, you need to do this. I'm like, that is contingent upon how well you experience life. You can't. Like, if you really follow and process by process what they told you to follow, You feel me? Graduated from high school at 18, go to college, graduated 22, be on track and everything, get that. It's just not possible. They threw so many loopholes in there for us that it created a facade. You feel me? So a lot of us had to break that notion. And now we're realizing that all this time we had just been getting old because there wasn't much experience. We were just doing what we were told to get to a certain point. Now we're at an age where we're at a point, and I like that word. I like how that phrase comes out, like, I'm at an age. And when I say that to people, I never really mean my the number of years that I've been on this earth. I'm like, yo, I'm at an age where I don't give a fuck about certain shit. I'm at an experience of life. You feel me? Where what you're saying or what it doesn't apply to me because of what I've experienced in between that time frame. It still applies to you. Don't get me wrong. It still applies to you well because you got old with it. I aged with that. And that's when our delineation is different. You feel me? So let life be about that, aging. And stop being afraid to get old. If you age well, you won't get old. But find that common ground where you can age and get old at the same time. Have a life full of experience and a long time of experiencing good shit. You feel me? And let your life dictate your reality for you. So with that being said, man, go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. Start letting your kids age. We make our kids old early. You feel me? Because it's like their experience of life is new. We can't make them skip. Like there's certain milestones that they naturally have to experience to age properly. Otherwise, they just start getting old and skipping shit. You feel me? Let them age. Let the babies age, man. Let them gain the experience for what it is that they're supposed to be on. You feel me? Let the little boys be able to cry and experience what tears are and why they feel. Let the little girls experience being little girls and being little girls who can have fun without. That's a whole nother podcast. I don't even want to get in that because we got to actually address the old heads because that's some perverted shit. Like the little girls can't even be little girls without being gawked over. They have to be matured a lot earlier to where it's like, yo, I'm just being me. I don't know. Like we always consider, we want to critique and criticize fast ass little girls and not put to the chopping block the perverse old heads that are watching them. You feel me? Put some clothes on because men are coming. Like, what kind of men are you allowing in your house? You feel me? It's like, when are we going to change that? But I don't want to get too heavy in that because, like I said, that's a so frail conversation right there. Yeah, but let the kids age. You feel me? And we got to stop making them get old so fast. Putting so much of our time in this world into them and that. Like, just imagine that. We make our kids get old faster by taking however much time we've already had in this world and infusing it in them, forcing it in them. Like, this is the experience that I need you to have right now. That shit's overwhelming. You feel me? That shit's overwhelming. I'm just going to use myself as an example. Like, I'm the youngest of 3 of a single mother, right? My mom had to import and infuse all of her experiences into my older brother in order to, you got to grow up fast because, raised without a father, and we had to, develop certain shit. He was 7. I was 4 months old when we left. He was 7. My sister was 5, right? Now my sister has to, at 5, my brother at 7 has to take on, because I'm 29. So my brother at 7 had to take on 20 years of experience in my mama's life to age fast enough to be caught up to 29 years because he was 7. My sister had to take my brother's and my mom's years infused in her in order to age her up to that level at that time. I was 4 months old. By the time I got to go to school and got ready to be, I had to have, so let's say I aged myself to 5 years old. You feel me? My sister's 10, my brother's 12. That would make my mom 34 at the time. All of this experience from all of these 3 different people from dynamics, I had to take on in order to make myself as mature as they were. At 5 years old, I got old real fast. You feel me? That's what we're having to do to our babies. because we're not in a position to protect them the way we want to. You feel me? And we live in a world that forces us to have to do it. So I'm saying that to say this: age your babies as their babies. Yeah, we still got to make sure they stay on point, but give them the freedom to be a child still. Because your childhood, you can't get back. You cannot get your childhood back. And when you age in a way that your childhood is taken from you, when you get older, you seek that freedom to be what it was when you were a child, which is often difficult if you don't know how to do it from a mature perspective. You know, that's why I talk about childish versus childlike. The childlike innocence is still there, but when it develops a childish maturity, is because you matured too fast. You became old too fast. You feel me? You became old too fast and you didn't get a chance to age. So we got to make sure that our kids are not having to go through that, which means that we ourselves have to put ourselves in a better situation going forward so that we are not having to force our ages onto our children's. No, we are not having to enforce how we became old into our children's aging process, because that's going to damage them in the end. You feel me? But I'm gonna leave it there for that. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And I'm gonna see y'all all on the next one. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.